like that would be in New York, the foodies, the foodies first, that kind of thing. So we started this account to do recipes that I was making, and then all the things that was prepping. So free all of them in the store. Breakfast, lunch, still and I never showed myself. I was like, no one will ever know me. I told a few people, eventually all my friends found out I worked for you, but I still didn't want my face on my baseball. And I was hitting this point where I realized I cared a lot about that and the social media aspect of the world that I did a lot. I don't know why. I don't know why. I get it down. I don't know why. Either or bears. And that was kind of the sticking thing. My job was kind of younger for me. Like I was holding handcuffs of it all. It was so wrapped up in my ego. And I just accepted this will be a side thing. You know, I have this great career on this I know New York is so weird. In Brooklyn, yeah. So you're walking down the street, walking across the street. It was like 6 o'clock. That's what I'm doing. It was last Friday night after work. I never do. One of my favorite yoga instructors was teaching her first class in the studio. I would never go to Broadway for a workout class, but like I wanted to do it for her. I'm crossing the street. It's snowing. I have like my Canada Goose fur hood up, and I actually have J-Wall found it, and I'm always going all the time. I was not doing any of those things at this moment. Like yoga. No.
有点长，你把那个边折一下，或者是那个边折一折。
I was on the crosswalk. I was in place. I did everything. But the car that was like flying down his parallel street, and he went to turn left and just didn't see me. So he like I did everything right, which is why I just kind of made into this whole shift in my life because I realized I do everything. I'd like to go to and like at the end of the day, you're not really in charge of a lot. So I ended up like I kind of came up. Whoa, really taking it back. I then why? I don't know what was happening in my brain. So I'm like, well, okay. And he's like, I think we should go to these. So I'm like, no, like it's fine. I just want to get to yoga class. It's crazy. He walks me to his studio. Yeah, I'm like, you're bored. Yes. Of course. I just want to go to that. Yeah. I remember calling my husband and my boyfriend. I just got in my head. What are you talking about? And then I start crying because I'm like, what is happening? You know when the adrenaline like wears off? And I remember I was supposed to meet a girlfriend for dinner after, and I texted her, like, did you go to yoga? So he walks me to the studio. He took the room right there. I was like a stone's throw away from the studio. We walk in, the instructor at my room sees me, and I'm like, that there's my car. She's like, what are you talking about? Sit down. As I start to like wear off from the adrenaline, I realized that I had a really headache and like a bruise on the side of my head, and I have a history of concussion, unfortunately. So I knew right away I had a concussion. So I ended up in the ER that night, and they were like, you have a concussion, there's nothing you can do, come home, monitor yourself. And I remember calling my boss and being like, I'm sure I have a concussion, Friday night, I'm not going to work on Monday. But that was really all I thought. Yeah. Then I wake up the next morning and I vividly remember like getting out of bed, turning on all the lights, almost like forgetting what happened, and being so overwhelmed by the pain in my head, but also everywhere. It was like the most intense postpartum I've ever felt, and this was my 6th one, so I feel like I'm kind of like, yeah.
小了，今年应该
The brain bleed,
你穿的浪鞋。
everything's clear, but I mean, that concussion, and so from then on, I was on short-term like disability for work for, I want to say, it was maybe 6 weeks, and during that time was when I started to meditate, journaled a lot, like there's nothing I could do. I never watched TV. I just kind of laid there and like listened to my sleep and meditated. And I was like, you do all of these things that you think are right, and it can just change in an instant. I've been using Manicure for a few months and I feel the difference. I learned about time manicure, a friend in my And I have to say, my energy stuff paid off much for a big workout. Mitohero is clinically shown for cellular energy generators by triggering the body's natural process for removing and rebuilding damaged mitochondria. Just by taking 2 soft gels a day for 2 months, you will see significant improvements in your cellular energy, muscle strength, and endurance. Even though I'm co-host GLD, I'm still learning along with our listeners. I now know about mitochondria, our cell's power generators, which are key in let's keep our mitochondria healthy, shall we? MitoPure is number one DMK supplement. It is labeled Project Certified. To make taking timeline MitoPure even easier, they have 2 product options to fit your needs. Their soft gels are great for those days you need an easy grab-and-go option. I like to mix it very sugar into my yogurt for daily smoothie. Want to give MitoPure a try? Well, guess what? Timeline is offering 10% off your first order of MitoPure. Go to timeline.com/TIME. That's TIME.
正在放好看的东西进去，把那个小熊背起来。
Space heating is in a treatment program and helps you or your loved ones heal your relationship with food. We talk a lot on GMD about how food can impact your physical health, your relationships, and your body. It's got a huge impact on your eating and eating disorders are serious medical conditions, and they're much more common than you think. Because they don't show up how we expect them to. Anxiety around mealtimes, exercising when you're sick, feeling out of control around food, or extreme picky eating can all be signs of an eating disorder. Each person has access to a dedicated care team that can include a therapist, a dietitian, a meal provider, and peer and family mentors to help you achieve lasting recovery. Stationery Insurance treats people of all ages with no waiting lists. Their approach is designed to make treatment more accessible and tailored to individual needs. We emphasize the role of family and recovery, providing education and support to help loved ones understand the food and healing process. Our platform allows for regular check-ins and support. If you think you or a loved one is struggling with an eating disorder, it needs to achieve lasting recovery. Visit equip.health/GMD. It can be a challenge to stay motivated and healthy during the holidays. I refuse to be hard on myself about how much I eat during these weeks. While at the same time, I want to keep stacking my positive habits, like taking a 10-minute and no matter what, I still have that AG1. AG1 aims to simplify nutrition by providing multi supplements in a single ingredient powder. I like to drink my AG1 mixed with water. I feel like low hydration foods, I mix it with powder. The convenience of AG1 on the rack for this holiday. This holiday season, try AG1 for yourself. Or even gift it to someone special. It's the perfect time to focus on moving your body with an easy and surprisingly delicious healthy drink. And that's why I'm so excited to be partnering with them. And AG1 is offering new subscribers a free $76 gift when you sign up. You'll get a welcome kit, a free K2, and 5 free travel packs for your first box. So make sure to check out drinkag1.com/to get this offer. That's drinkag1.com/to start your new year right here now. So why do a good job every day? That makes me really anxious. I'm able to grasp. When I know there's something I'm try to do, like I'll never be this young again in my life. I'll never have this kind of responsibility. And I'll have a lot of privileges that come out me the opportunity to take that with me. So I went back to work and I resigned. And it was all huge because in the beginning, once I had left, I started having more of myself. I started having anxiety and depression. Then I was pregnant. experiencing it a second time to reflect on it here. So for me, I always thought that postpartum depression was like when they put the baby on your chest and you don't feel tension and you're instantly depressed. That's not every case. And I got connected to my baby. I was really happy in our like bubble. It's just the three of us in New York. It was COVID, so there were really intense restrictions of who we allowed in our house. See them, what was happening. So like yes, and then also there was this horrifying underlying anxiety because and now I see it like that was my father's calling me. But now I don't want to freak out every time someone leaves my house. I'm scared that I'm gonna get a call of them be like, hey, I'm so sorry, I just tested positive. Or I found out I was in contact. Like that was the hardest part, right? The aftermath. That was but I ended up having really intrusive thoughts right away. And tell me what like getting horrible. I would just see. Did you ever watch Final Destination movies? No. Okay, they're old. It was when I was young. We used to watch them on home. They're so messed up, but that's kind of how I explain it to people who've never had intrusive thoughts. You're literally seeing this vision.
哦，那你应该买灯的，
to happen. You're worried.
买灯的，买400厘米的
So
吧，
I was.
400毫米那个吧，
He was wrapped up in our sheets.
反正是一个400枚。
And he never slept in our bed. I would, in my house, I would convince myself I would panic walking through because I convinced myself that I'd slam his head into the side of the doorway, or I'd drop him on our marble countertop, or like things like that. And sounds constant. And it's really interesting. And then they came back. But they came back. So it was like the hormones of my pregnancy, but I was having intrusive thoughts about my toddler. And something I worked with my therapist and psychiatrist a lot is it's really interesting to observe that they become almost related. I have intrusive thoughts of him having head trauma, specifically on hungry, or like my accident. So but like I had them really intensely again when I was pregnant, observing my trauma in the world. Like when he was swimming, he'd be like jumping into the pool. I would like convince myself that his head was gonna snap back somehow and hit. Yeah. So how did you get? Okay, sorry. So I had these thoughts of anxiety early on, and then my depression really started around month like 4, and that was almost more confusing for me because I was like, wait, I'm out of the 4th trimester. But it's not supposed to happen. Yeah. That 4th trimester is way too short. Right now, I expect your body to snap right back. I mean, when we started the 6-week appointment, check out 5 seconds. So for me, what helped a lot was, I'm on medication. I have been since 2 years before I got pregnant, probably. So I've been on medication. I had to switch. I was changing medication. So, but yes, I was medicated for both my pregnancies and postpartum. Unfortunately, so long.
Yeah, I didn't start. I have anxiety, and I didn't start my anxiety medicine until after my babies were born, and actually after my first divorce. And I probably and I totally understand that. But I will never live my life without it because I know what that felt like. And medication doesn't get rid of your anxiety. It just makes it manageable. That's appropriate.
Like I say this all the time. Broke your leg, you would wear crutches. No one would be like, come on, tough it out. Just help on your broken leg.
Or if you have diabetes, you would
of course. Yeah. But for the anxiety, like with medication, there's some moments where it's not that it just goes away, but I'm not having a random panic attack over nothing walking down the street. Right. Exactly. And I think that's the difference. So medication helps me tremendously. And changing out my dosage, I definitely was increasing it with obviously. Therapy. So therapy I have been for 8 years now. So I ride or die. Love her. And it's so nice that she does all the players in my life now. I'm like, never guess what happened. with it in the sense of like regularity. And then obviously meditation. But I'm trying to get back. I journal. Journaling really helps me. And then doing things that make me happy. Like whether it's spending time with friends and like throwing my phone in a bag and forgetting about it. Putting limits on my social media, that's huge for me. Reading romance novels.
I love a good romance novel. Oh my god, I love to read.
Of course. Like there's nothing that I then like after the kids go down, I clean up, we do the closing shift and we're ready for the next day, and then I take a small little edible, I take my full body shower because that's my like transition from like mom day to like my decompression time, and then I get in bed.
Oh my god,
That's my dream end of the day. Yeah, so those all are ways that like help me get out of that stage. But honestly, so much of it is time. And I hate that, but it's really giving yourself grace and really remembering that like everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. You will not feel like this forever. And I know that it's so easy to convince yourself in those times that like your life is forever changed, and it is in different ways and beautiful ways and hard ways, but you're not always going to feel that way. That's why I'm so open on our platform about what I experience. Obviously, there are boundaries and things that I don't feel I need to share with the dark hole of the internet, but sharing my experience in the way that I have lived it is important to me because I know from my messages other people out there who are experiencing similar things, and knowing that you're not alone is so important. And that's really why I started talking about mental health, because I was having these moments post college when I was working on Wall Street, 3 kids, where I would almost just like fall to myself. And I'm like, I have everything that I can dream of. I have the New York City apartment. I have the amazing relationship. I have all my friends. I have the job that all of my major people, like people in my major dream of. Why am I
那
so?
个纹身贴，那个被
And
你说没有？
I noticed that once I started talking about it, it's the same thing with once I started medication. I said I was on
我
medication.
就
I
怕我
realized
忘
that
记我
almost
当
everyone
天
in my
去给
life
他
is
留言，
experiencing something similar.
他上班了。
So like no matter what you're going through, someone else is experiencing similar emotion. It's just a matter of if we can be vulnerable enough and less judgmental to be willing to share and connect.
well, that's really why Trace and I started the podcast too. It's just like I think we can help other women, and it's just we're a team. I have 4 sisters, and my friends are my sisters too. Yeah, so it's what it's very that is amazing. And they're my support system. Of course, my little sisters. Yeah, I know. Right now. We couldn't deal with life without our system. But I think being open and vulnerable and sharing, that's a good use of social media. Have you thought about it for yourself this year? One that has the power to help you grow, learn, and become a better version of you? Give yourself a gift of language by getting Babbel. Do you have a loved one whose native tongue isn't English? Why not impress them this holiday season by speaking their language? With Babbel, you can. Speak like a whole new you with Babbel, the language learning app that gets you talking. With quick 10-minute lessons, handcrafted by over 200 language experts, Babbel gets you talking in a new language in 3 weeks. Babbel's tips and tools are inspired by real-life stuff you actually need when talking. With a focus on conversation, you'll be ready to talk wherever you go. One study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a full semester at college. With over 16 million subscriptions sold, Babbel's 14 award-winning language courses are backed by a 20-day money-back guarantee. So your gift to yourself or your loved ones is risk-free. I'm going to use Babbel to help me learn French again. I'm so excited. Here's a special holiday deal for our listeners. Right now, get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription. But only for our listeners at Babbel.com/GMD. Get up to 60% off at Babbel.com/GMD. Spelled BABBEL.com/GMD. Rules and restrictions may apply. ClearStem was founded in 2017 by licensed clinical esthetician Danielle Gronich, known as the acne guru of San Diego's acne clinic. holistic nutritionist, Kaylee Christina. If you've dealt with breakouts, you know that typical acne products dry out and damage the skin. Excessive dryness can cause premature aging. At the same time, traditional anti-aging products are often full of thick or clogging fillers, which contribute to more breakouts or acne growth. Danielle and Kaylee, the co-founders of ClearStem, each struggled extensively with stubborn acne as adults. Danielle endured 3 failed rounds of Accutane, and Kaylee had aggressive acne when she went on birth control in her 20s. As they entered their 30s, anti-aging became a concern in addition to acne. Danielle and Kaylee joined forces to formulate the only clean skincare line that targets breakouts and wrinkles simultaneously. ClearStem's top-selling product is the Mind Fun Skin hormonal acne supplement, which can be a holistic alternative for people who don't want to go the prescription route to clear their skin. Visit clearstem.com/she-md and use code SHEMD at checkout for 20% off your first purchase. Again, that's code SHEMD for 20% off your first purchase at clearstem.com. I have the most amazing life. I have the most amazing children. My husband is the love of my life. My family is incredible. I love what I get to do, but there are moments that I have, hardships like everyone else, and I think making sure you're open and honest.
Yeah, and I think it's so important to remember, and this is something that I try to reiterate, but I know sometimes it gets lost, is that mental health doesn't discriminate. So, you can be so blessed. Look at certain celebrities that we've lost to suicide. You can have, quote unquote, it all and still struggle with your mental health. Do you have advantages with those financial privileges to seek help? Of course, 110%. However, it's still not always forever really under your control or up to you. And I think when it comes to the aspect of social media and mental health and all of that, I think about this a lot. How old are your kids?
My babies are 16 and 17.
Okay. So for me, I think back to high school when we were just in the age of we were allowed to have, Facebook opened up to high school when I was in high school, so it was not only colleges. And we got it junior year. And I remember, you'd have these summer breaks and you take all these photos of your disposable camera. And same with college. And then you'd upload the whole thing the next day or two. And it would just be weekend, whatever. I think about how the certain people feel when you would see something and you weren't invited to it. Or you'd be scouring. I remember scouring images being like, who's in the background? Were they there? Were they invited? Now the fact that people are experiencing that real time in that moment where you're, for instance, someone who's not invited to this girl's sleepover and you're in 8th grade and you're sitting on your couch by yourself on Friday night at home and you're seeing all of these friends together posting these TikTok it's that's heartbreaking. And that's something that it's not even you're not equipped. Mental health hasn't developed. And also it's not malintent in the sense of posting by the other people always. Sometimes it can be, but it's still the way that you're doing it and it breaks my heart. And even in the sense of not everyone's perfect. I've seen that because I try to be very honest and open about my experiences. However, I also set boundaries because not everyone signed up for this. Yeah. And for instance, right now there's something that I've been going through that's been really freaking hard and really tough. And I find it interesting that as a consumer of my content, it would still look like for the most part I have it all together. Even though I've said I'm going through something where I'm setting boundary on that, I'm not sharing it and it's tough. Without going into detail, it's still you never get the full picture. And then even somebody that you're never going to get the full picture, right? And I don't think we deserve everyone's full picture, but I think we need to remember that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So what would you tell everyone who is, I think postpartum is such a massive thing to talk about more.
Yeah.
What would you be some of your advice?
I would say to hone in on creating your support system in your village. I would be nowhere without one. And I've been so gifted in the sense that were involved. My in-laws were involved. I have two sisters who are incredibly helpful and we're very close. And I realized that not everyone has that. So if you have that, like leaning on that, and also showing up for the people on your village who like villages you play a role in. You know, I feel very passionately about that, and I think so many of us get those sort of experiences wake up call of how I didn't show up for your friends the way I should have because I never knew what she was going through because I hadn't experienced this before. So now I make a really conscious effort when any of my friends have kids to really try to show up for them, like show up for them. And I think creating that village with friends, finding people, whether it be in bond groups, whether it be classes with your kids, you know, trying to connect with people, looking for connection. So many of us are. And talking out in safe spaces, whether it's rooftop or Facebook groups, whether it's friends and family, where you can be completely honest about what you're experiencing, because when you trap those thoughts in your head, you convince yourself that you're the only one having them, and that's something's wrong with you. And the second you release them and talk about it, you realize that like, and you have someone talk to you as a friend, which is always so much nicer than the way we talk to ourselves.
Yeah, it's so true. I absolutely didn't get into part of the second child.
So I've been thinking about this a lot, and I wish that it was a science so that I could tell everyone to do this if they did get it. I think it's twofold. I think one of the biggest things, and it's been a really eye-opening experience for me the entire, like thus far 9 months out, having a second, is that I have the confidence and the wherewithal and the lived experience of this. So I realize that I've actually experienced it, that that's not forever. I know that my baby is not going to be up all hours of the night forever. And it's really wild because my first was this angel unicorn baby. And before I was like, he never said it once in his life. Like, never had any of those things. And still, I struggled so deeply mentally. My second has just thrown it in. He didn't sleep through the night until he was like 5.5 months. We're still spits up more than I've covered inside of my life. Like, he's just wild. I love him to death, but they're so different. And I always say that you get what you get. Like, I would have never handled my second as a first mom. It would have rocked me. Worse, like, I can't even imagine. But as a second mom, I'm like, all right, dude, let's go. And he's taught me to chill out and like realize that I can't control everything. I was a little or very obsessive and schedule oriented and anal with my first. But my second is like, no, that's not happening.
That's not happening.
Yeah, and you can't do it with a second because you've got a first to care for. So I think that was my second really helped because I knew that eventually I would feel like a version of myself again. And I had reached a level of happiness when my son, my first was around 9-10 months that I never imagined being able to experience, like happier than I've ever been in my life. And so knowing that that was still available for me to tap back into once I got out of this like phase of newborn life gave me the hope almost. I also think the second time around we did hire a night doula 3 nights a week so that I was able to sleep 3 nights a week, which was tremendous. Such a privilege, such a gift. If you have the means, it's the best thing you can do. It's the best thing you can give anyone if you're like figuring out with friends, even a night's of sleep. That helped me a lot. I think also having the tools from the first go around was really helpful. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think those are the main factors.
That's great. It's just, you know, you're a pro. Second time around.
I don't know.
First time you're like,
I mean, there's so. It's terrifying.
It's terrifying. Oh my god. And they just keep, I have to just tell you, they keep getting more hilarious. And keep getting, oh my god, it's so fun. Being a boy mom is so fun. My one that just turned 16, I posted a video on his 16th birthday of him when he was a kid. And I have this greatest video. He's just laughing and giggling. And I thought about who was 4, and they used to, their rooms were right next door to each other, and I would go like snuggle with one, and then the others would come on, and
That's my life right now.
like snuggle back in there. So we're playing through and snuggling with him, and I was trying to, I thought he was asleep. He didn't know the way out. And
even though we've never let him sleep in our bed for a full night, except for he had a surgery during recovery we did, and that kind of confused him because Abby thinks that it's an option. And my husband's away right now, and so last night when he texted, please, mommy, I just want to marry you. And I was like, what? He's like, please, can we just get married? And I was like, I know, I'm so sorry, you can't. I love you, but it's not happening. And he's like, but then I could sleep in your bed. Oh my God, you're smart. So I guess one day I told him, like, you sleep in your bed. Our baby sleeps in it. Exactly. I'm like, I'm married. So I hear at 3 a.m. I'm like, all right, please, it's early morning yet. Can I get in your bed? I'm like, not yet. 5:30. It's early morning and I'm dead. Yeah, I just have to crawl in.
Yeah, I think honestly, I mean, I'm 52, so these days are long gone. But if I had another one, I think I would just let him sleep in my bed. I think I would just let him do. And it's so hard. I know. It's so hard.
Because I want to sleep. Like, that's the issue. I want him in my bed, but I also want to sleep, and I can't. He is all over that. This stuff is sleep. He's moving. He's kicking. And I want stationery. Like, where I buy some.
Of course, you have to. That's a tip that I was talking about.
Yeah.
那个盒子胶带，
More with my second-year
爸爸出去了。
we have date nights. Like we take time for each other. We take trips without our kids. Like we absolutely have to space for ourselves because sooner than later they're going to be gone and you're left with this person. That person has to have a solid foundation. It's so keep them love them and all those things. Yeah. We're going to see, empty nester looking into a stranger's face and not know what to do.
I know. We were trying to get back to our date night game. It's so bad. You're so bad. No, I know, but we did go on a nice trip, the two of us, which was amazing. Amazing. Yeah.
Well, you're the best.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Thanks so much for joining us today on GMP. Well, if you want to own your own house, a good place to start is by following us on social media at GMP Podcast and by subscribing to our show on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. For takeaways from today's episode, visit our website, gmpodcast.com. See you next time on GMP. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for a physician's medical advice. You should regularly consult your medical provider in matters relating to your own health. Even though we share our honest beliefs on GMP, some of the products and services we discuss may involve sponsorship or paid advertising.
就来在门口，我掉头。
你早上没掉头吗？
我今天误打误撞，我就想去看花丛，我歘3个路会从中间那里插过来的，过来的，结果刚刚我还走到边看了一下过不来，等我走到这门口，我说哎，今天走对路了。我还以为你知道，我说谁呀？有人通知你了，我以为知道了。我就说我再去看一下花，哎，才知道了，我就掉头了。今天我就说往这边走一下，一来以为这2条路的堵路。这大责任都来让我们的路责任掉，这个货车还没掉完头，又来了个小子。排水对吧？应该有啊。这我们这边的车就会少一点。 边停车位就很多。我刚才来的好像就得。当老板停的车，我们还没有哦，那天摄影师也没位置哦，你那个停的满满当当的，你还要找哦。我不知道，你也不知道，我到处找。我口罩洗了，放在对面围墙上。还有个卡牌的。马上到了。
哎呀，这个又拆错了。你说他俩不会打啊？
对，我不会打。
我也有不会打。
我这打两下，我这肩膀就疼。
哎，我这凳子嘞？知道哎，我都没拿。我还没拿去肩膀疼的不行了。
小丽也不痛。
小丽昨天在那叫。
小丽全身痛。
她全身痛，她从头痛到脚。
腿痛、背痛、腰痛，然后还在那里擦那个东西，然后擦她舌头。
我手痛到脚，她全身痛。
腿是麻烦的，腰痛、背痛。但是他脖子没痛，我们是。
你不痛，你是心痛。
这么亮。
我说我给你拆了，你好，你直接划，我也没看。谁要带有你的？
不会有的。
不会记这人。
地址搞错了啦。
有的话
你这样纸巾的记这来，有可能吧？
是这么写。
忘记了，没选啊。
哎，我不知道哎，是哎。
是你关了吗？
我没关啊。我关了吗？我没关。
有可能你关掉了，你在那里扫我身体。 是不是我关掉了？我也不知道。没关啊，就这个啊，它暂停了。哦，那段视频放完了。重复呗。重放。它放完了。我就说，我都还没发现呢，你不说。
Hi, I'm Dr. Algavati. If you struggle with irregular cycles, acne, facial hair, body hair, hair loss, or insulin resistance, you might be dealing with PCOS, or polycystic ovarian syndrome. Having dedicated my life to helping women with PCOS, I understand the challenges in getting an accurate diagnosis and the right care. That's why I created OV. OV is designed to help you take control of your health with clinically proven, validated ingredients in a simple, once-a-day solution. For too long, women with PCOS have had to choose between lifelong prescriptions or complicated supplement regimens. OV offers a better way to help manage your symptoms without the hassle. It's my mission to empower women facing PCOS and other hormonal issues by providing the information and support they need. Reclaim your health. Go to OV.com. That's OVII.com and start today.
Can you please just hear me out? No, all work pants and platforms are the same. They take forever to work, and nobody uses them. Monday.com is the one you'll actually love to use. It lets you set up your workflows yourself. No admin, no long approval process. You're in charge. I don't have time to set up workflows. That's fine. Monday also has a ton of templates you can choose from, so you can be up and running at no time. It's both flexible and standardized. Sounds too good to be true. You know that llamas are biologically incapable of lying. How would I know that? Anyway, did you see the dashboards? They updated real time from your King's data, so you're always in control. No freaking way. I don't know how to data in myself. Are you for real? Monday.com handles all the boring stuff, so you can focus on what really matters. But what if we're not compatible? If it's any type of work, marketing, sales, HR, wellness, there's a free trial, so what's the harm? You know what? I'm ready to perform again. Thanks. Talking all of it. You don't remember my name, do you? Of course I do. Step. Monday.com, the first word platform you'll love to use.
So excited today to have Cameron Rogers with Conversations with Cam. We're going to talk about everything from pregnancy to mental health, babies, because we have 7 between the two of us. I had 5. I had 2 that had me, and then I've got 3 stepchildren, so they're all mine. I realized 2 and 3 when we got married, so. But I'm so excited. I'm in New York, so I'm just kind of like, let's go back in case our listeners aren't that familiar with Stapling after listening to this. So what started this?
See, what started it was medical stuff. I was working in sales and trading at JP Morgan. I graduated college. I started full time like 2 months after school, and it was probably like 3 years there. I started dealing with a bunch of digestive health issues, and I was trying to figure out the root cause, and I could not figure it out. And I was going on every single elimination diet possible. I had been diagnosed with SIBO multiple times. I had IBS-C, like leaky gut, any trendy name in that gut space world was thrown at me, kind of, and I was diagnosed with it. So with these elimination diets, it led me to sort of eliminating foods, but really just issue. So it actually did. I eat them now. I actually decide but I eat garlic and cooked onions, and I'm fine. But I healed a lot of that stuff, and quite honestly, a lot of it was this is later in the journey, but a lot of it was anxiety related, and I had workers with it. So once we got were you eating tons of sushi? No, they actually think we don't know for sure, but the timing all lines up where they think it was from the removal of an amount from the with the mouth filling. It was crazy. It took me like 2 years to finally get to guy, and she's doing all the tests and diagnosing with SIBO. I could see all the I was treating SIBO with antibiotics, and we were doing these elimination diets, but I still just felt like I reached the bottom of it because I was coming back. And I was so bloated that I looked like, so I can say because I've seen my body 6 months pregnant. I literally looked 6 months pregnant sometimes. And I finally went and saw a functional medicine practitioner. And it was like the beginning of my nursing health when I first started in New York. And he did this extensive blood panel, and I had to medals come back high. They came back high again. Then we did a separate panel that was more specific within heavy metals. My mercury was supposed to be something one under 1. Really supplement. My body, mercury, but also everything else is kind of disappearing. And then we do regimens. And that's not what I make, so actually, yes, I had them tested pregnant, and they're at normal levels.
Did you feel different after that happened?
Night and day.
What?
With my digestive stuff. And like I had shingles. There's just crazy stuff happening. It ends up all being yeah. So it changed everything for me. And I started working on my mental health, which helped me a lot. So through these elimination diets, I started cooking. And kind of this era of like that was big in New York, the foodie with first, that kind of thing. So I started this account to do recipes that I was making, meals that I was making. So I was making breakfast, and never showed my face on the platform. I was like, no one will ever know this is me. I told a few people, and all my friends I know, I work with, I still don't want my face on it. It was all food. And I kind of was at this point where I realized I could learn a lot more about that and space. And this was the week after. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like I sit down and I'm like going through infatuation and either really good or berries. And that was kind of the stating day, but my job was such that honor for me. Like I was holding handcuffs of it all. I was so wrapped up in my ego. And I just accepted this will be a side thing. You know, I have this great career. I'm doing really well here. Don't mess it up. I then like all the moment I got to my car. I know. My
In New York.
was so weird. In Brooklyn.
So you're walking down the street.
Walking across the street. It was like 6 o'clock. I was going to a yoga class on Friday after work, which I never do. One of my favorite yoga instructors was teaching her first class at New Studio. I would never go to Brooklyn for a workout class, but like I wanted to do it for her. I'm crossing the street. It's snowing. I have like my Canada Goose fur hood on. I actually like jaywalk all the time, and I'm on my phone. I'm not gonna act like I don't. I wasn't doing any of those things in this moment.
Were you
Like
high?
no. It was just 2 years.
Sometimes that happens.
No.
Oh, okay.
I had the walk sign. I was on the crosswalk. I walked both ways. I did everything. But the car that had the green light was like flying down his parallel street, and he went to turn left and just straight up didn't see me. So he. And I did it right, which is why I made a total shift in my life because I realized that's a thing. And you're totally in control, and life so I ended up I talked about really taken back. I didn't want to mess up this person's life. I don't know what's happening in my brain. So like it's okay. I'm like, no, like it's fine. I just want to get to yoga class. It's crazy. He walks me through the 20s. Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah, I remember calling my husband, then my boyfriend, being like, I if I have a car. He's like, what are you talking about? And then I start crying. What is happening? You know, when the adrenaline like wears off. And I remember I was just sitting at dinner after, and I texted her, being like, "Did you go to the yoga class?" So keep walking to the studio because it was literally right there. I was like a stone's throw away. We walk in. The instructor, Beth, my friend, sees me, and I'm like, "Beth, there's 25 minutes." She's like, "What are you talking about? Sit down." As I stood up, with like the adrenaline, I realized that I had a really intense headache and like a head, and I made a series of concussions, unfortunately. So I knew right away I had a concussion. So I ended up going to the ER that night, and they were like, "You have a concussion. There's nothing you can do. Go home, monitor yourself." And I remember calling my boss and being like, "I just want to let you know I have a concussion. It's Friday night, like I might not be at work on Monday." But that was really all I thought. In my car. Yeah. Yeah. Then I wake up the next morning and I vividly remember like getting out of bed, turning on all the lights, and just like forgetting what happened and being so overwhelmed by the pain in my head. But honestly, everyone was like the most intense post-concussion I've ever felt. And it's my 6th month, so I feel like I'm kind of yeah. So we went back to the hospital, make sure there's no brain bleed, got a CT scan, everything's clear, but I basically just had that concussion. And so from then on, I was on short-term like disability for work for I want to say like 6 weeks. And during that time was when I started to meditate, journal really hard. Like there was nothing I couldn't get my phone on, I couldn't watch TV. I just kind of laid there and like listened to books on tape and meditated. Journaled. And I was like, life is really cool. Wow. You can do all of these things that you think are right and just change in an instant.
I've been using Vitapure for years, and I feel the difference. I learned about timelines Vitapure from a friend in my Pilates class. And I have to say, my energy is up and my muscles don't ache as much after a big workout. Vitapure is clinically shown to give our cellular energy generators new power by triggering the body's natural process for removing and rebuilding damaged mitochondria. Just by taking 2 soft gels a day for months, you'll see significant improvements in your cellular energy, muscle strength, and endurance. Even though I co-host She, I'm still learning along with our listeners. I now know about mitochondria, our cell's power generators, which are a key influence in how we age. So let's keep our mitochondria healthy, shall we? Mitocure is the #1 doctor-recommended urolithium A supplement that is NSF and Clean Label Project certified. To make taking Timeline Mitocure even easier, they have 2 product options to fit your needs. Their soft gels are great these days. You get an easy grab-and-go option. I like to mix some berry powder into my yogurt for daily use. Want to give Mitocure a try? Guess what? Timeline gives you 10% off your first order of Mitocure. Go to timeline.com/GMT. That's TIMELINE.com/GMT. Equip is a virtual evidence-based eating disorder treatment program that helps you and your loved ones heal your relationship with food. We talk a lot on GMT about how food can impact your physical health, but your relationship to food and your body can also have a huge impact on your mental health. Eating disorders are serious medical conditions and are much more common than you think. Because they don't show up how we expect them to. Anxiety around mealtimes, exercise when you're sick, feeling out of control around food, or extreme picky eating can all be signs of an eating disorder. Each person has access to a dedicated care team that can include a therapist, a dietitian, a meal provider, and peer and family mentors to help you achieve lasting recovery. Equip is covered by insurance, treats people of all ages, and has no wait list. Their approach is designed to make treatment more accessible and tailored to individual needs. Equip emphasizes the role of family in recovery, providing education and support to help loved ones understand and assist in the healing process. Their platform allows for regular check-ins. If you think you or a loved one struggle with an eating disorder, Equip can help you achieve lasting recovery. Visit equip.health/SheMD to learn more. That's equip.health/GMD. It can be a challenge to stay motivated and eat healthy during the holidays. I refuse to be hard on myself about what or how much I eat during these weeks. While at the same time, I want to keep sustaining my positive habits, like taking a 10-minute walk after a meal Dr. A recommends on our GMD episode. And no matter what, I still like AG1. AG1 aims to simplify nutrition by combining supplements into a single convenient powder. I like to drink my AG1 mixed with water, but if I feel like I need a little hydration boost, I mix it with coconut water. A convenient travel pack allows me to bring my AG1 along the ride and travel this holiday. This holiday season, try AG1 for yourself, or even gift it to someone special. It's the perfect time to focus on supporting your body with an easy and surprisingly delicious healthy drink. And that's why I'm so excited to be partnered with them. An AG1 is free $76 gift when you sign up. You'll get a welcome kit, a bottle of D3K2, and 5 free travel packs in your first bottle. Make sure to check out drinkag1.com/GMD to get this offer. That's drinkag1.com/GMD to start the new year on a healthier note.
So why am I going to a job every day that makes me really anxious when I'm really depressed? And I know there's something else I want to try to do. I'll never be this young again in my life. I'll have this little responsibility. I come from a lot of privileges that allowed me the opportunity to take that leap of faith. So I went back to work and I resigned. And then when I started the account, and it was all free from the beginning. Once I had left, I started showing more of myself. I started talking about mental health, so and then when I got pregnant, I did a lot of pregnancy content because I was so blown away by what was happening to my body that I just started this whole series of my body.
That's exactly how I feel.
No,
That's exactly how I feel.
why do I smell? Why is there hair coming out of every pores of my body? Like, why are my boots covered in veins? Like, all of these things that I haven't seen people talk about. And I was so blown away because I was on the earlier side of my career. So then I had surgery like that, and then I was getting a kid, and so now that's how motherhood section
Talk about having postpartum.
yeah. No, I would get into the second one. I struggled a lot mentally on my first one, and I don't know if I necessarily realized how intense I struggled until I was out of it, and then even more so now that I'm experiencing the second time to reflect back on it and prepare.
And how did you get yourself out?
So for me, I always thought that postpartum depression was like when baby on your chest and you don't feel tension and you're instantly depressed. And I know that that can be the case for some, but that's not every case. And I know when I was my baby, I was really happy and more like bubble. It was just as bad as New York. It was COVID, so there were really intense restrictions. So like yes, and then also there was horrifying other life. Because and now I see it. I mean, that was my first one. But now I'm like, oh, I don't freak out every time someone leaves my house, scared that I'm gonna get a call of them being like, hey, I'm so sorry, I just tested positive, or I found out I was in contact. Like that was the hardest part, right? The aftermath of that, like, well, now what do we do? But I ended up having really intrusive thoughts right away.
Tell me what, like, give me
Horrible. Like I would just see. Did you ever watch Hallucination? Those movies? Okay. They're all we used to watch them. I don't know why they're so messed up, but that's how I explain it to people who've never had intrusive thoughts. Where you're really seeing this vision happen, and it's not that you want it to happen. You're worried, but your brain convinces you that it's happening. So I would convince myself that he was stuck in our sheets, right? Even though he was best moments, right? And he never stopped doing that. I would, if I held him, convince myself I couldn't. I would panic walking through and through away because I convinced myself that it's not his head. Or I
用的
tried
膏药贴也没用的，
to
我当时好痛，然后我这边流两下，搞两下就不痛了。
And it's really interesting because those went away and then they came back when I was pregnant with my second, but they came back with my toddler. So I think it was like the hormones of my pregnancy, but I was having intrusive thoughts about my toddler. And something I went through with my therapist, since I digest a lot, is it's really interesting to observe that they are almost all related to head trauma. Like I have intrusive thoughts of him having head trauma, specifically on property. Where like my accident happened. So it's so deep you go to the body. I had to really intense again when I was pregnant, observing my toddler. Like when he was swimming in the picture, I would convince myself that his head was gonna snap back. And then my postpartum depression started around month 7. And that was almost more confusing for me because I was like, wait, but I'm fourth trimester. But
It's not supposed to happen.
yeah, that fourth trimester is way too short. You're pregnant for 9 months, so you expect your body to just started the 6-week appointment checkup. It's 5 seconds. So for me, what helped a lot was, hey, I'm on medication. I have been since 2 years before I got pregnant, probably. So I've been on medication. I had to switch. I was in the midst of changing medications. So, but yes, I was medicated for both of my pregnancies. And postpartum, so it's explains a lot.
Yeah, I didn't start. I had anxiety, and I didn't start my anxiety medicine until after the babies were born, and actually after my first divorce. And I probably, I think there's a million reasons why we got divorced. But definitely my anxiety was definitely, yeah. And I tell everybody, younger people don't want to be on medicine, and I totally understand that. But I will never live my life without it because I remember what that felt like. Medication doesn't get rid of your anxiety; it just makes it manageable. Yeah, it's appropriate.
Like I say this all the time. If you like broke your leg, you would wear a cast. No one would be like, come on, tough it up. Just walk on your broken leg. Let someone get the extra assistance.
Or if you have diabetes, you would
of course. But for the anxiety, like with medication, there's still moments when I'm anxious. It's not that it just goes away, but I'm having a random panic attack over nothing walking down the street. And I think that's the difference. So medication helped me tremendously. And, changing up my dosage, I definitely was increasing it during postpartum with the help of my doctor, obviously. Often, so in weekly therapy, I have been for years now. She's my ride or die. Love her. And it's so nice. She knows all the players in my life now. I'm like, you will never guess what happened. And I meditate. I haven't been great about it. It's something I'm trying to get back into, but
for years. It just
really, yeah. I was so good at it in the sense of like regularity. And then I don't know a kid, like the second kid kind of just but I'm trying to get back. I journal a lot. Journaling really helps me. And then doing things that make me happy. Like whether it's spending time with friends and like throwing my phone in the bag and forgetting about it, putting limits on my social media, that's huge for me.
I think that would be so important for
everyone. Reading romance novels, I love
a good romance novel. Oh my god, I love to read.
Like there's nothing better to me than like after the kids are down, I clean up and do the closing shift, and we're ready the next day. And then I smoke a edible, I take my full body shower, that's my like transition from long day to like when I eat the fresh time. And then I get it.
Oh my god, I
yeah, so those all are ways that like help me get out of that stage. But honestly, it's really giving yourself grace and really remembering that like everything feel like this. And I need to convince yourself sometimes that like your life never changed, and it is in different ways.